Hey guys, Meta just published their new Llama 4 models on April 5th. In this blog post listed in the description, they published three models. So the Llama 4 Scout model, which is the smallest one, it's a mixture of experts models with 109 billion parameters, with 17 billion active parameters and 16 experts. Then they have the Llama 4 Maverick model with 400 billion parameters and 128 experts. And for these two models, they say they are available. And for the Llama 4 Behemoth model, which is a total of 2 trillion total parameters, it has 288 billion active parameters. So that's a very large model, but it says it's in preview. So not available as the other ones, but in any case, all of these models are so large that as is you can't use them on consumer grade electronics. But what still makes them interesting is that they have a very large context length. And of course the mixture of experts model make it that the active parameter count is lower, and the inference will be faster and less compute restrictive. But as I understand it, the total size of the model still requires you to load that into RAM. So under the 9 billion parameters, loading that into RAM will require a lot of RAM. Here in the blog post, they do explain that the mixture of experts model is more compute efficient for training and also for inference. And this is their first model which uses this mixture of experts model that we have seen with other models already previously. So it seems they are kind of taking some of the ideas from the previously published models. So what makes it more efficient is that when you have an input coming in, it will route it to one of the experts, for example, the one which is expert at coding, and that will activate just a part of the parameters. So they also provide a comparison table where they compare it, for example, to DeepSeek 3.1 and to OpenAI's GPT-4o, and based on their calculations, it's quite a bit cheaper than, for example, GPT-4o, and even might be cheaper than DeepSeek version 3.1. Here in the blog post, they also explain that Llama 4 Maverick, the 17 billion active parameter model with 128 experts, is the best multimodal model in its class, beating GPT-4o and Gemini 2.0 Flash across board of range of widely reported benchmarks, while achieving comparable results to new DeepSeek version 3 on reasoning and coding at less than half the active parameters. Llama 4 Maverick offers best-in-class performance to cost ratio with an experimental chat version scoring 1417 on LM Arena. And if you go check LM Arena, the score indeed is quite high, not as high as Gemini 2.5 Pro. So indeed, this is an interesting model, but considering that you can't just download it on consumer grade hardware and try it out, that makes it a bit less interesting for some use cases. But maybe for some other use cases it might be very interesting. But of course you do need to consider that the license maybe is not as permissive as you would hope. Like if you check on the license, Llama has its own Llama license, so it's not one of the widely used, for example, MIT license, which the DeepSeek version 3 and DeepSeek R1 are licensed under, or Apache 2.0, for example, which you see in here as well. If this video was interesting to you, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.